The whole silly, drunken, pathetic lot of us. Doomed by the air we're about to breathe. We haven't got a chance.
I won't have it, Julian. I won't. There is hope. There has to be hope. There's always hope. We just can't go on like this. We can't.
So we have all the spices for boil the water, be ready for the boiling water inside the rice. This is the stir fry with oil, the stir fry onions. We have the spices, and after we stir fry the rice, we add the water. The water is aromatized with these spices, this mix of spices. There is black lemon, there is some chilies, there is 7 mixed spices, bay leaf, salt, pepper, and tomato paste.
Indeed, so this is the beautiful, fragrant, aromatic rice that will be served today from Jirabala Kitchen. Thank you.
From the United States Holocaust Museum. Genocide is an internationally recognized crime where acts are committed with the intent to destroy in whole or part a national, ethnic, racial, or religious group. These acts fall into 5 categories: killing members of the group, causing serious bodily or mental harm to members of the group, deliberately inflicting on the group conditions of life calculated to bring about its physical destruction in whole or part, imposing measures intended to prevent births within the group, or forcibly transferring children of the group to another group. There are a number of other serious violent crimes that do not fall under the specific definition of genocide. They include crimes against humanity, war crimes, ethnic killing, and mass cleansing. And this is from the Holocaust Museum. Thank you, Josh Ellis. I've started to understand something about the Holocaust and how some people see it that I never before understood these last few months. I realized I completely misunderstood the world and the monoculture, and it's really depressing me. In the lesson of the Holocaust, that it's wrong to mass murder innocent Jews or anyone at all. Is that the lesson? Because it's very obvious to me that my takeaway is not Israel's takeaway on the subject. When they said never again, they meant to us. I didn't get that part in school. I didn't get that it was okay to slaughter innocent children for what their governments did. Would the Holocaust have been all right if Hitler just rounded up Goyim, Allied civilians, and gassed 6 million of them then, or Muslims? Was his choice of victims the main problem? Some people seem horrified by the industrial nature of it, as though carpet bombing a trapped population is somehow less horrific, more in accordance with what's acceptable to modern civilization. It's the automation we despise, right? Like the atom bomb. Kill 1 million civilians over months of bombing and famine, and it's more acceptable to us than just vaporizing them in a second or running them through a murder factory. What the fuck does that say about us as a society? As a species? Would we be more horrified by Gaza if Israel just put industrial meat grinders at one end of the strip and herded the population into them like cows down a chute? It would amount to the same thing they're doing now, but the aesthetic would be less palatable, wouldn't it? One thing I've learned in my life 1,000 times is that victimization does not confer sainthood. An abused child can grow up to be an abused man. Do we forgive the rapist if they themselves were raped in turn? The murderers, if they are the children of the murdered? America does. Why not? Shit! At least the Israelis didn't pick a country at random after they were attacked and invade it and murder hundreds of thousands of civilians and grind it into the dust. We did. We're in no position to wag fingers as a country. But Josh says he is. He spoke out against the war just as I speak out against this one. It was wrong when my country did it. It was wrong now that Israel is doing it. It's wrong that America is aiding them. And the Holocaust has nothing to do with the right or wrong of this. Sorry, it just doesn't. Unless you really just believe in vengeance instead of justice, and that the real problem with World War II was simply that the wrong people were inside the wire and outside of it. I really appreciated reading Josh's piece. I just want to talk a bit because I don't want to do a live show tonight. I'm making this video in lieu of that because I'm tired. You know, October 7th was the date that marked this start of this mess. I had COVID at that time. And while I got over it, I've had residual effects. I've had some neurological problems. I've had a lot of pain. I've had cyclical recurrences of autoimmune. I don't bitch about it too much, but I have been extremely distraught over what's happening with this war. And I am anti-war, obviously, but this is something like we haven't seen in a long time. I mean, we've seen atrocities in other countries, and we're seeing them all the time. But this one it's striking us to the core because our country, again, is providing aid and comfort to the perpetrators. Yes, there was an event, and yes, Hamas did what they did, but the reaction to it is disproportional. Netanyahu is a madman. He needs to go. It's so much deeper than that. It's just the fact that we're seeing this live streamed. We're seeing these, and there's people that are telling us that this isn't real. God, they can go fuck themselves. You know, I'm not a channel here as a job. I'm disabled. I'm not doing this for money. I'm doing it to run the channel. And those of you that donate, it really helps because I couldn't do it. Do my 2 little shows a week. But I'll tell you, sometimes I feel like dropping out of society. I feel like locking the driveway gate and never coming out. But that's not reality. And that's not me. I'm a person that is always involved in something. Yet, I'm having a big birthday coming up, and, I'm not feeling great all the time. And I have tons of work on this property, but, man, I'm no victim. The victims are those in Gaza, women, children. And I'll say another thing. The victims are those in Ukraine. Women, children, buildings, cities, societies. All war. Netanyahu, Putin, I just put them all in the same basket. The President of the United States talking out of both sides of his face. Yeah, things need to be calmed down there. Israel, you shouldn't be doing what you're doing, but yet we're sending them gigantic bombs. People will say, well, was this intentional with the World Kitchen workers? It was gross negligence. It was hideous. Between the wars, the precipice of fascism, climate crisis, where are we? I didn't mean to make this a down show. I just don't want to be live tonight. I'm going to make this video and tell you how I think. I'm angry. I will tell you, I went to the polls today. There's a election in New York State. And it is the Democratic primary, the Republican primary, and the usual suspects were on there, but Marianne Williamson was on the primary line for Democratic nomination. I'll leave it there. It's just all, it's very distressing. And what else is distressing to me is the fact that civil rights is on the ballot in the United States. And a lot of people want to argue with me and say the Democrats, the Republicans, they're both on the same side. But when it comes to certain civil rights, they're not. And it is really not fair to females and minorities that are protected under the Civil Rights Law of 1964 and all the other laws that I've talked about before that come after that. It's not fair. It's really easy for pasty white Christian nationalists to sit there and say that, it's okay to get rid of the administrative state, like Steve Bannon is saying. That gets rid of everything. And I am disgusted by what's happening and what our country is participating in and what we allow to happen by continually providing arms. But it's not the only situation in the world. The world is experiencing genocide in other areas. The world is experiencing food shortages coming up. The world is experiencing weather whiplash. We are in a crisis, worldwide crisis. But when I look back at my life, which spans a lot of time, when weren't we? But the thing is, this worldwide crisis is the last worldwide crisis. I suppose I just wanted to get a few things off my chest. And I don't know if I can correlate my physical problems with this war, which has just profoundly affected me, with the political situation, with my actual disgust with Donald Trump and these MAGA people who are insane, with disagreements with people that want to equate both sides as the same, when we all know the Democrats are a corporate party, but not all of them would want to get rid of the laws and the books, on the books and civil rights. They don't want to take away women's rights, which are happening, exponentially. All the things I fought for all my life are going away. How, can I say this is depression? I don't know. Yesterday I was kind of okay, except I did make that video about the trees, the broken and dead trees over the years. And I look at those trees on my creek as our planet broken and dead, dying, going. And I try really hard to change my own attitude. When I talked to Drew on Friday about the algae projects and, some of the little hopium things that do cross my mind, hey, I try. Figure it's probably more mentally healthy for me. Yet there's days when I just want to close the gate at the end of my privileged little driveway and not come out, turn off the internet, read books, not do any of this. But yet I like this. I do like to communicate, and I do like this little tiny channel and family that we have all that are involved in Environmental Coffee House put together. It's not just me. It's never just me. It's about Kim, Jean, Scott, Looney, the moderators. It's about Brett, Discord. It's about Jonathan O, Facebook. It's about giving people a voice like Jim and Jennifer and Antonio and Nick. It's like bringing people on, and my ability to be able to talk to people from all over the world. It's invaluable, which I wouldn't have. But does that make me feel better about what's going on this planet? No. No. Do I want to call it depression? Maybe it's situational depression. I think a lot of us have it. I think a lot of us can commiserate with each other about it, and that's why we come together. Oh my gosh. I just couldn't do a live show tonight. But I'll be back with Jennifer Friday night. Jennifer and I, we're going to do our methane update, Arctic update, the usual, what you guys are used to us doing. I can't wait for that. I want to feel better by then. I also think that there's, my birthday's coming. It's a big one. And I'm facing my own mortality. And I often say, my age group is dead men walking, and the young people are who we really need to support. And I'm sick of old white men. Not to offend anyone. I'm really talking politically. But we got a lot on our minds, right? We're living through incredible times. We're living through what I didn't think I would see. You probably didn't either. That being said, and reading Josh's words from Twitter, who was just a new person I came about on Twitter, who I kind of identify with because he has just as shitty a spine as I do. They were poignant and not in any way anti-Semitic, not in any way. It's all political. It's these leaders. It's these fucking leaders. It's Netanyahu. It's Putin. Ukraine. They deserve to be the country they want to be. If we become a white nationalist country, goodbye civil rights. The civil rights I talk about. The civil rights like protections in the workplace. Protections for minorities and females, which are slowly being eroded because of some notion that the 1950s may have been better. I don't think so. Anyway, stick with us. This too shall pass. Maybe. Maybe not. I'll see you Friday night with Jennifer. Thanks for coming. Stick to what you feel is right. And always be on the right side of history. I think all of us here know what that is.
watch the satellites explode. It must be